Hey, Milky here, back again with another deck highlight video for MarvelSNAP. Today we have LockJaw, and LockJaw is a card which is when you play a card here, swap it with another card in your deck. This card provides lots of RNG and lots of randomness. It definitely has the surprise factor, not only for yourself but also for your opponent when you're playing it. It's a really interesting card. There's lots of cool things you can do with the card, but it can also backfire at times. But I like the RNG aspect of it, and I like how it plays out. So with that, let's get into the rest of the deck. So first up, we have the Hood. The Hood isn't in every LockJaw deck, but I've found it really consistent. And if you can play the Hood on LockJaw, not only do you get the benefit of getting a 1-cost 6-power demon straight into your hand, you also are able to cycle out the Hood and potentially replace it with something much more beneficial. So the Hood's pretty good card, and I've found it to be pretty consistent in the LockJaw decks I play. Next up, we have Sunspot. Sunspot's just a really consistent one-drop card. I think with all the randomness going on in this deck, it's really good to have some consistency. And I think Sunspot's probably one of the top one-drops in the game. So he's included in the deck and has a really good synergy with the Infernaut as well. Next up, we have Iceman. Iceman, again, just a really consistent one-drop. Not only are you negatively affecting your opponent's hand, but it's a really good cycle card for LockJaw or an early turn play if you want to make that as well. Okoye is probably a bit of a flavor pick as well. Not in every LockJaw deck, but I've found that the boost she gives to the rest of your deck can just add some power that's unexpected. Maybe players aren't accounting for that as well. Also, a really good cycle card where you're going to get the on-reveal effect and then you're going to be able to cycle it out using LockJaw as well. So I've found her to be pretty consistent and definitely worth playing in my deck. So next up, we have the featured card LockJaw that we've already talked about. After him, we have Jubilee. Jubilee is just a great card to play and pairs so well with LockJaw because you're already running so many high power and high impact, high cost cards later in your deck. She can just act as a really good way to not only cycle into LockJaw, but also if you don't draw LockJaw, you can play her in isolation by herself, and she might draw into one of those really impactful cards for you. So next up, we have Iron Man. Iron Man is really becoming a powerhouse in many decks. He's a great card to draw into from a LockJaw cycle or Jubilee cycle, and he can almost pseudo win you a location from time to time, just because it really disincentivizes your opponent to play into that location, and there's that kind of mental factor there that you can play around too. So great card. We then have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's probably one of my favorite cards, if not my favorite card in the game. Visually she looks great, but I think also her ability thematically is also awesome. Won me a ton of games where I have been so far behind or I have definitely lost on my skill and my play, but out of nowhere Captain Marvel kind of gets you the win. So I love that she can kind of take a losing situation and turn it to a winning one. Very cool. Then next up we have America Chavez. America Chavez, the big thing for me is the consistency she provides in decks. She's a good cycle card that you can pull from LockJaw or Jubilee. Going to add 9 power to the board, which is great. But for me, it's the consistency that she brings, and because she allows you to draw into any of your other cards on turns 1 to 5, she just gives you essentially one less card in your deck for all of those turns to draw into. So that's a really big thing as you're climbing the ladder, is consistency in decks, and Chavez is one of the cards that brings that in spades. Then we get into some of the bigger impact cards in the deck, the ones that you really want to be drawing into through LockJaw or Jubilee, and the first one is Giganto. The really cool thing about Giganto is usually you can only play it in the left lane, but if you're cycling into it and you're being able to draw that through LockJaw or Jubilee, it can be played anywhere on the board. So that's a big, hefty drop of power that comes out of nowhere and can often win you a lane kind of off the back of drawing into it. So the Infernaut's one of the highest power cards in the game. It has a really big downside of not being able to play a card the turn before. But if you're able to cycle into it with LockJaw or Jubilee, there's a huge payoff there. Also, if you do find yourself in a spot where you can skip turn 5 and maybe you have a sunspot on the board, that can be a really big power play as well, just to skip that turn 5 or turn 6 and be able to play out Infinite on the board as is. So Death's a really interesting card, definitely not in every LockJaw deck. If you draw into it and you have it in your hand, it's a completely dead card. But the upside is if you draw into it off Jubilee or LockJaw, it feels really good, and it can be a really solid amount of power on the board that you can just play out. I don't have a full collection, so I don't have cards like Magneto, but potentially that's a replacement for her. But I've found that the consistency that she brings is better than the detriment of maybe drawing into her once in a while. And with that, that wraps up our deck highlight. Let's get into some games and see how we go. Okay, cool. So first game up, we have Stormy. And we do have Sunspot turn 1. So I think I'll drop this one mid. Can't do it left because of Crimson Cosmos. We'll see how we go. Okay, Gamma Lab. Gamma Lab's an interesting one. I'll definitely be playing Hood there. But I think just for mana efficiency, we'll play Okoye here. Buff the rest of our deck. Really hope he doesn't have a Shang-Chi for this. Okay. And we're kind of running out of cycle cards here if we do draw a LockJaw. But I mean, I could fill up that location, but I kind of want to keep something in hand for LockJaw. I guess I didn't really think about him maybe storming or Scarlet Witching the location, but guess that's something we could. It's cool how the Hulks take your rarity. That's pretty cool. See, we drawing a little LockJaw there. That's awesome. We might be able to finish this off with a demon here, but I think this is the play at the moment. We've got some really good cards that we can draw into for sure. And then this location might get capped out by Jubilee next turn. We'll just see how we go. Okay, Captain Marvel's pretty good draw. Pretty good draw. He draws into Psylocke. We actually win that turn and draw into 3 cards that would absolutely love to draw into, but that's okay. That we would have loved to cycle into with LockJaw, but that's okay. I think we still drop the Jubilee here. We could also drop the Jubilee here. We really don't have any other big cards in our deck, do we? That might be an issue. So we can. I think this is going to be a waste. We only have 2 cards in the deck left in the deck. So I think we've got Chavez obviously in the last turn, and we've got Hood went in. Yeah, okay, and we got Iceman in there. So I think we play. We could just draw it out. Yeah, we might do this. We can always play Iron Man over their last turn. Okay. So we've kind of capped out that location. I think we win here. I don't think there's anything our opponent can do here. Dropping Giganto kind of doesn't do anything for us. We need to get cards out of our hand for any reason. A Ronin, I guess, but what could he have that beats 23 power? I'm not too sure. A Shang-Chi kind of beats us there. Shang-Chi would be pretty brutal if you had Shang-Chi and something. Might be why he's not surrendering or retreating. Sorry. So this would actually give us 13. So this, because here, oh no, I messed up. I can't play that there. This would actually get us close. Because if he plays a few cards out, yeah, we'll do this just to cover this option if he does have a Shang-Chi for mid. Okay, he's just dropping lots of power in the left lane. So that was good. That was a win to kick us off. Good game, Stormy. And we'll go to the next. Okay, so next up we have Rosemary and Crimson Cosmos. Is Crimson Cosmos the featured location? I've just had this a bunch. Anyways, so no LockJaw in hand. We do have some cycle cards already, so I might just play out Iceman here, and we'll kind of get a bit of tempo on the board early. So we're not going to be able to do any LockJaw things left. And so it might have paid us to hold the Iceman, but I think getting it out is still fine. I'll play Okoye here. I'll play Mimid again. And we'll see how we go. Okay, so we got the Vault. Love to start getting something in the Vault. No LockJaw. We don't have any turn 4 play here yet. 4 drop we have Jubilee, so I think I just want to hold, because if we draw LockJaw we play it. If we draw Jubilee we play it. If we draw LockJaw we can play LockJaw and Hood, so it gives us something to cycle straight away, which is good. Okay, so we draw the Jubilee, that's fine. We can start trying to get some power into the Vault here. And he's just played a Wolfsbane out straight on the board, so that's pretty rough for him. That's a great pull to get death there. That could win us the game right there, or at least win us that location right there. I think a smart play here is to drop Captain Marvel, and then next turn we might be able to get the Giganto out in left. So yeah, okay, so he's kind of got some interesting plays going on here. So we can Sunspot Iron Man mid. Would bring us up to 16 in mid. We can Giganto left and hope that he plays 2 cards, which doesn't feel great. I think the Iron Man Sunspot is the best play. So this brings us up to 16, 17. Sorry, it brings us up to 18. Forgot about Iron Man's buff from Okoye. So I think 18 is going to be enough. We won't snap just in case they run, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so they ran. Seems like they retreated later anyways. Good game, Rosemary. Yeah, I think they probably had a bit of a rough draw, but I think we kind of locked it down. So that was good to get that one. A really good draw on death as well from the Jubilee. We'll go to the next. Okay, so in this one we've got Bayq. I'm gonna go with that, Bayq. And Hell's Kitchen off the bat gives us Sunspot, which is a good draw. Play him out. Yeah, Sunspot's kind of in the deck just to help with consistency. I know I said it earlier on, but this deck is wildly RNG based at times, and having Sunspot in the deck can be really just good just to have consistent power when you get it early on. So we do draw into LockJaw, which is awesome. And we're probably going to play a lot of cards into Nidavellir, so I think we can start playing LockJaw in there and get the ball rolling. We've drawn into Death and Infinite, which isn't the best, but... and then Captain Marvel, so who knows what we're going to get from this. We could get a Hood, we could get an Okoye, we could also get like a Giganto or Chavez or something like that. So we'll see how we go, and we're gonna get two triggers to cycle cards here. Okay, so we do get the Chavez, and then which is a really good pull, and then we get the Giganto. So absolute high roll on the pulls there. He also plays the LockJaw, gets an Electro down, which cycles into Spider-Woman, which is pretty brutal, and then he gets a Hood. So I think we're in a decent spot here. Oh, sorry, and then the Hood's, he played the Hood, which cycles into, okay, Green Goblin. Right, so he's 20 power, give or take, or more like 10 power because of the buffs from Nidavellir. So he's really not that far behind. I think what we can start doing now is we have two cards in the deck, and both of them we do not want to draw into. So I think we get the Captain Marvel out, and this could be cool. This could be cool. No, I actually like this. Yeah, I like this because we could potentially get a. Yeah. I think I like this. So this gives us 18 in left, as is, and it potentially gives us 10 in mid. So I think this is a really strong play, because we get the buff from Kunlun with Captain Marvel moving there, or it can stay. So it gives us kind of options. I like this. We'll see how we go. So has he got an Iron Man? I think his Iron Man's... Okay, so no Iron Man. Or maybe he draws an Iron Man, so he draws back into Hood. Okay. Unfortunate on the rolls for him from the LockJaw. We absolutely high rolled for our LockJaw cycles. He has Spider-Woman, which is pretty strong. But yeah, drew into Hood at the end there, which wasn't the greatest, but good game. Really enjoyed that one, BQ. Cool. On to the next. Okay, so now we've got Valiant hitting us with the hello. Great avatar. Love the Goose avatar. And then straight into Muir Island. Now, usually wouldn't be playing this out, but I think the upside is pretty good getting it out early. I also don't have a turn, another turn 1 play, so I don't mind getting it out early. Probably play Okoye in there too, just to get the ball rolling early. I think it can be beneficial, and we can start, boosting up their power a bit. So we've got, okay, this is going to get real awkward. Just hand space wise and and board space wise, I mean, because we have an unplayable location for our kind of LockJaw combos mid, and then we've got limited board space in right. So this might not be a LockJaw game. This might just be like a Sunspot pass. Could be a Demon pass. We'll hold Demon. Sunspot will go to 4. Okay. Okay, so we've got 7 power, so we're up by 5. Do I want to do that? I can still push power in there, right? With by skipping a turn on Sunspot. So I think this is the play. It seems weird, but I think this is the play. Yeah, we don't need to win it now. Okay, so he's going after it pretty hard. Okay, so we draw into Death, which is cool. He draws Jubilee. Jubilee draws into Polaris, which is weird. So we need to make sure we skip a turn there because we have no way of getting in there either. Which is, I mean, it's okay, but so we got 3 cards in the deck. This could be a demon skip game. Demon skip turn. Actually, don't hate it. Could also just be a skip turn. And then we have Infinite. Yeah, I think this is the play. We just skip. And we play Infinite. Now I think we do have an initiative, which does make me a little bit scared of a Shang-Chi, especially in this style of deck, hey? So if he plays Shang-Chi, we lose. Like straight up, we just lose. If we play Infinite. If we do this, we have 4 power. Which doesn't feel great if he Shang-Chi's. We beat a Shang-Chi, but we don't beat a Shang-Chi and something. I think this is the play we have to make because we just straight up lose if he has Shang-Chi. Okay, we'll do this and hope it's a Shang-Chi. I knew it. I felt it coming. So I ended up paying off us thinking through that a little bit. We set up for the Infinite turn, but it was good that it paid off, like us thinking through that a little bit. So that worked out well. That was a great game. That was a great game, Valiant. And we'll move on to the next. Okay, so now we've got Black Thunder with Mindscape as the first location. So definitely not a great location for us, but for most decks, you've got key things to play on turn 6, so it can be pretty rough. Okay, so hitting a Okoye, not the greatest. We would have played her this turn, but we do have LockJaw into Hood, so we can play that on 3 and 4, see what else we draw. Okay, so Savage Land, definitely not great. So we'll play LockJaw into Mindscape. And we'll see if we can get a good cycle from Hood. It's definitely not great for them either. I mean, their Angela's really only going up 2 more, unless they have like a Killmonger or something interesting to get out. And we did draw into Jubilee, which is pretty good. We got Death we can draw into, we can draw into Infinite, we can draw into Chavez. We got a few good draws that we can pull into here. Okay, so they're gonna have 15 power. So we do get the Infinite, which is fantastic for us. I think what we want to start doing is, so they're going to get a I think this looks weird, but they got the Giganto here, which can take them to 20. I guess it doesn't need to go there. The Iron Man could be more of the issue. So maybe we play Iron Man here, which takes us to 4. And then they're going to give us 4 cards. So they go to 15. So we need We need like a 6 cost card if we do this. A 6 power card, sorry. But I can't give him an Iron Man. I don't think I can give him an Iron Man, so we'll go with this play. Seems weird. So they have a blue Marvel. Okay, so they drop Iron Man mid. So that was an interesting play. That was a really cool animation for Mindscape. And I completely forgot we drew into our own Chavez. So this is looking like the play. Yeah. I think that Iron Man into Jotunheim wasn't the best. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure what they were going for there, but yeah, I guess I didn't have tons of play. But yeah, good game, Black Thunder. Go for the next one. Okay, and to finish things off, we've got Moby and Triskelion for the first location. So we kind of get a bunch of randomness here. You kind of got Deadpool, Taskmaster. We could do something here. This could be interesting, maybe with Thor. I don't actually have Thor, so I'd kind of love to play him. But we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Okay, so Koye is looking like the play. I don't think we want to domino. And we have no guarantee, well, we actually have no way of destroying Deadpool, so unless there's a location. So I think this is probably the best play. Do we want to play it mid? Let's play it mid. Let's play Okoye mid, and we'll see what he's got. I'd love to get Thor out, just because I don't own the card. It'd be cool to kind of get a win that way, or even just play the card out. So we'll see. Might even be able to. No, probably we can't do that. I was thinking about taskmastering Thor, but that's not actually gonna sequencing. It's not how it's gonna happen. So, yeah. So I think it's actually gonna be our best play is Thor. And we might play Thor over here because he's low on power already here, and we might be able to get a bit of a cheeky play going on over there. Next turn, what have we got? We're looking like Jubilee, I think. So Mjolnir goes into our deck. Okay, so that's how he's going to get his power over there. And we do draw immediately into Mjolnir, which is kind of awesome. And actually, I'd love to include Thor in this deck with LockJaw, so I can, so you can do the typical or the classic kind of like Mjolnir, LockJaw, draw into something great. I think let's not let him know yet that we've drawn Mjolnir. Okay, Captain Marvel's a really good pull, I think. With a game like this where I'm not 100% locked into which location I'm going to play, I think she's a great pull just to have as just an option on the board, which is good. I think this turn's looking like an Iron Man, and then next turn can be Giganto and Mjolnir. I think that's the play. So we don't want her to move. I don't think. That's okay. Let's play Iron Man mid. Next turn we can Mjolnir and Giganto left. I think that's going to be the best play. We're going to trigger his Mojo, but we're also going to trigger his Lizard if we do that. Okay, so Captain Marvel can always go here if we need a panic win, And I think this is going to be a good way to lock it down. Okay, let's go with this. Good luck, maybe. We'll see. So Spectrums. Okay, so he's got a lot of power coming out of that Spectrum. Mjolnir does take us up over the top. Just. Oh no, it draws, but then we do win on power mid. Oh, sorry, I miscalculated because of the Mojo and Lizard interaction. But yeah, I knew it would be quite close, and I forgot about the Ant-Man too. So we do draw on the left, we win by 12 in the middle, and we do lose on the right. But that was a really close game. That was a great game. Cool, good one to finish it off with. And that's a wrap on our version of the LockJaw deck. I had a blast playing it, had lots of fun. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to give us a like on the video, as well as consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you on board. Stay tuned for all the next videos coming out around deck building, news on MarvelSNAP, updates, whatever it might be, will be around. So until the next one, we'll catch you then.